All right, have and have not fans. This video was inspired by a rewatch of A Fall from Grace. Just because, my gosh, I have not watched that movie in forever. But I actually got to the end of the film and it just hit me. We were all in the same. I feel like for the most part, we all kind of agree that based off how If Loving You Is Wrong, quote unquote, ended. I use ended reluctantly because we really didn't end anything. We just stopped the show with a crap ton of questions left unanswered. And we all pretty much feel the same way, like, oh, 8 episodes left. We're not going to get a proper ending for the haves and have nots. And I've said multiple times, maybe a time jump, a montage, epilogue, whatever. And A Fall from Grace had that. We jump in the future a few months or whatever the case may be. And I think usually when movies and whatnot do those kind of montages, they're silent. We'll have a song overplaying it, maybe even an instrumental, and we are shown, or we are told by being shown various things. Like, I think one of the more prominent scenes in my mind is as a kid watching Babs, and during the reading of Mr. B's will, we just have to lip read what his attorney was saying. And then we flash forward sometime later, and everybody's dreams came true for the most part. So when you look at a situation like A Family That Prays, we see all the various characters have moved on in life. Some are in better conditions than others, but I actually jotted down a little list of how I would want the haves and the have-nots to end, assuming we don't get a proper ending. But I just wanted to say, if there was some sort of montage at the very end of the series to kind of wrap things up, here's what I would come up with. Because people have been asking me all the time, how would you end it? How would you end it? And given the fact that I feel like I've accepted we won't get a proper ending, here's a loose idea of how I want things to end for the most part, the main character. So you can feel free to disagree. Again, this is just my own little headcanon fan fiction way of wrapping up the series as best as they can. So if you disagree, that's fine. Just comment how you would want certain characters to end the show and like what note. But before moving forward, go ahead and hit the like button, hit subscribe, click the bell notification icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post new content to the channel. And follow me on social media, guys. Links are in the description below. So in no particular order, this is what I came up with. For Wyatt, die. Like, what purpose? You tried to kill your parents, just die already. If you don't have Wyatt dead, then have him shown in rehab, and over time he's getting better. But I just feel like the character has just done so much that there are just some characters who really don't deserve a happy ending. It's just like, like if Darth Vader had survived in Star Wars, like, can you imagine him reforming, being a good guy, but he's living amongst people who he's tortured and murdered some of their kind for years? It wouldn't just make sense. Hence why in a lot of movies, comic books, whatever, the villain, after even reforming themselves, either gets killed off or they sacrifice themselves because, oh great, they saw the error of their ways. But just because you see the error of your ways doesn't eliminate all the past deeds you've done. Trust me, I'm getting to like Candace and Veronica soon, but I think Wyatt said his dream was to be a firefighter, but he killed, no, just die. Again, either dead or in rehab. Just go ahead. Or if you want to be on a happier note, what was her name? Anna, the one counselor he had that was actually helping him get better, but after they had sex once, she left. Bring her back. Jim, I don't see going to jail. I honestly don't see him going to jail. If nothing else, I think Jim's final scene should be with Celine and Carlos and Jimmy. I mean, given the fact that Jimmy got a time jump and he magically got like 15, 20 years older. I would have really liked it if he was still a kid. That way, if he knocked on the door, we saw him with Celine and, holding Jimmy, being a father to him, basically doing for him what he didn't do for Wyatt to raise a good man. I think that would be a great way of concluding the character. Not necessarily saying that Jim and Celine get together, but him being a father, having that chance. Catherine, here's what I want to see. We see Catherine in court and being judged guilty of murdering Jennifer Salison. And, it's a somber moment, but guess what? Hannah's right there, sitting behind her, right behind like the little wall in the courtroom. And Catherine's, walking into prison. Or if Hannah isn't there, which Hannah would be there, have another scene where, Hannah is visiting her in prison. I think that would be a great way to do it. Speaking of Hannah, have another scene. I feel like the final scene would be like her, we're going to see Hannah in board meetings, like she's really coming to her own as executor, where it's no longer, Catherine calling the shots, but Hannah coming to her own and, running the crier state as efficiently as she did cleaning things as a maid. That would be great. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here. Her and David get together. Like let's say Hannah gets home, and home could be Catherine's house. I don't know. She takes off her coat, kicks off her shoes, goes to a couch, and David's there waiting for her. It seems like they're going that route, so why the hell not? Also, you could have Mitch being in charge of the Malone family now. Like, he's going to run things a lot differently. It isn't going to be about violence and bloodshed so much as maintaining peace and taking care of business. Or an alternative for Mitch is he's in charge of the towing company. It's not Benny's towing, it's Mitch's towing. Or it could be Benny and Mitch, or Mitch and Benny. Those two in business together. Another route is Jeffrey and Madison. I want to throw it out. Those two get married. I'll just throw it out there. I'll say Jeffrey and Madison get married, probably adopt a kid. I'll just throw it out there. Charles is in office, and Candace is by his side with a baby. Or Candace is dead. There you go. And finally, I feel like they could do a fall from grace sort of ending with Veronica, where she was killed, but it was actually Laura. And we see Veronica starting over a new life, if you will. And similar to Felicia Richard's character in A Fall from Grace, like the final could be seen as like a cryptic ending. And, Veronica is just doing what Veronica does. I could see that happening. So, yeah, I know this video seemed a bit kind of out there, but that's honestly how I feel the haves and have-nots should wrap up in a way. That's really all I got. So let me know your thoughts. Let's continue it in the conversation. I really do hope the conversation in the comment section is really good. And if you want to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal, Cash App, or join Patreon for as little as $1 a month.